Hello everyone, welcome back to my Pokemon+Nobunaga's Ambition Let's Play. Today our ambition is just to train around the Ronsei region and check out all the nations that we've collected so far. We've got a good sector of the region locked up in our hands. Nobunaga won't know what to do for long. But in order to make sure that we have enough power to go against him and his many armies, and the armies up to him that we're going to be facing, we've got to do some training. So we'll be doing that all today in this episode. Rearranging our team, making our Busho warriors fight where they're most needed, and go from there. Now, do remember what I warned about if you are doing this strategy like me, where you're taking some time to train up in your past nations. You might want to leave a couple of Busho warriors behind in the borders, especially the stronger ones, on the borders of where there could be an enemy attack. Your nations that are most inwards, you're probably not going to need to worry about. There's a very unlikely chance that, I haven't seen it at least, enemies will try and go past inwards towards your nation without taking over something first. I have no idea what we just did. It tired out our entire team though for the day. I really am not sure what's the deal with that. Maybe that's where we get a Thunderstone from, I don't know. But so long as you leave a full team ready to fight whoever comes on the border looking to try and take your nation when you're training, you can deflect them back immediately as soon as they lay foot upon your land. And what's really cool about defending your land is when we come across the Busho leaders, for example, when we first faced Motonari and we had to capture the flags. We couldn't win unless all the flags were captured because we were the challenging nation and Motonari was defending. Well, that's the role you take in that circumstance, and if it's in an area that has flags, all you have to do is just have some flags blue. If the enemy can't get them all to red in the time of turns it takes, then you win, and you get to keep your nation for not too big of a rigorous battle. Because sometimes your other Busho members who aren't always in your main warrior team, they're not getting as much experience, they don't have the right power levels that are needed to just face-to-face brawl with the enemy Busho warriors. So you gotta be crafty, and you gotta make sure that you can just keep them at bay long enough. Keep them running around the map, so they don't know what to do. But just long enough. This way, maybe you'll get an attack in once or twice, but for the most part, they're going to run out of turns and you will claim your nation still. Because you have to be all the way defeated. If you're not, sorry, that's one of the stipulations you need to meet in order to take a nation. So that's the nice thing about owning these nations now that we do. We have some benefits. That Rhyperior's attack is a little bit too long range for me. Also, I believe it takes a turn for Rhyperior to charge after that, so I can't even use it not simultaneously, but periodically. Once after another. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know what I mean. You're done, Spiel. I don't want to hear your spiel any longer. Let's try Befriending. We have to press A. Okay, this is the first time I believe that we've ever done this Befriending thing. So, Tarantula, come to me. No, I know it's not a Tarantula. I suck at it. Gotta get better at practicing the Befriending. What is that thing? A Joltik. That's what it is. Joltik. I'm like, Tarantula. I'm thinking of a pendulum song. It's the tarantula. Rhyperior, you are useless. We'll see if Rhyperior stays on the team. Sometimes you don't need a wide-range hitter like that. Or maybe you do need one that's long range, but one that's a bit more mobile than I can attack every once in a while. See, look, this Mareep is going to be cleaning up our team, because Rhyperior can't get farther away to launch his rocks. Oh well. At least the Joltik is asleep now, so maybe we'll have a better chance at befriending it. Or not. You know, come to think of it, I don't really need a Joltik. I guess it could be cool. Maybe. But at this point, I want to train Eevee to see where we can get it to evolve into. It's very hard to decipher. You know, if I knew, we probably already have it. We probably already have an evolutionary stone. It's just hard to locate what it is. Which is which in the Japanese language. Not gonna have to worry about that in a few months. That makes me so excited. I can't wait till this game gets freaking translated. Just lowered something of ours. Something, not sure what. That's pretty cool how when the screen dips down you can see a rainbow. I didn't notice the rainbow was there the whole time until it dipped for an attack. And that is pretty bossome. Oh, you can see the edge of the rainbow. This rainbow gives us power! I wonder if on this field we'll ever find a Ho-Oh flying out of the rainbow. Because that's its flight patterns. That was how Ash Ketchum first saw his Ho-Oh. Or first saw a Ho-Oh. Not like it was his. I see you, therefore I captured you. Man, imagine if Pokemon was that easy to capture. It would be crazy. Oh, that reminds me though. Speaking of capture and Pokemon and sight and things of that nature, there's this new project that Google's putting on called Google Glass. Just look it up in the Google bar, and Project Google Glass, and it should come up with a great article and video for you to check out. I haven't fully watched the video yet. I just read the article real quick and briefly. But what this Google Glass is it's a glasses or glassless, it seems, glasses that you wear. And what it does when it's over your eyes, you ask? It projects augmented reality. That's right. It pops up little menus that are voice command and I guess can be used by sight. I guess they had somehow tracked the eye movement so it could see you scrolling up and down things. I'm not sure. It's still in beta, but they're being tested now, and that's a crazy concept. Maybe we won't have holograms for a couple 20 more years or so, or 10 more years, who knows. But if Google pulls this off, it's running a Android-based operating system, which delights me because I'm very familiar with it with my Android device. And it works well too. It's versatile and it's pretty open to the market to make applications for it. Imagine having a Pokemon application. Imagine if a company like Nintendo started using this technology or incorporating it in already existing technology. Like the next iteration of 3DS is somehow going to be compatible with those Google Glasses. It will communicate through wireless. You just put your 3DS in sleep mode in whatever game it is that's projecting these images, and in augmented reality, not necessarily 3D, but in augmented reality before your very eyes, you're going to live in a Pokemon world. That's freaking phenomenal. It only took, what, like 10 years, maybe about 12 or so, since the original start of Pokemon before we're actually getting to a point where it's possible to have them before our very eyes. It's a crazy technology. Definitely look it up. I'm not doing it justice by just talking about it. You gotta go watch the video, and so do I! So, that is a really amazing thing. Google. Freaking awesome. Oh, and we ended up befriending the Spiel lady. The Spiel. That's kind of funny, because she's fat like a Spiel. The Busho warriors matching their Pokemon. That's a common thing in this game. Just like Kenshin going along with his Gallade. And that ground guy, who I didn't even think to get his name of. That's something I said I was going to look up, but forgot to. Damn. Well, Rhyperior dude also looks somewhat like his Pokemon. Actually, he reminds me more of a Groudon, and that's probably because I'm so used to seeing him from the cover being next to a Groudon. You start to see the Busho warriors for who they are trying to dress up as. All I'm saying is that this year, for E3, it's probably going to be amazing. Even if it doesn't incorporate these Google Glass project things, I have high hopes for Pokemon. Hopes. Sequels coming out, completely new strategy-based game coming out of a spin-off, and that's great that they're keeping the names of all the Busho warriors, which is great, because I'm always having to relearn names when I get over to the English version. I could just keep saying what I'm saying here as I learn the Busho warrior names, and then I'll just be able to read the other minor Busho in the region's names. But I do have a feeling that we're going to find something big on 3DS this year for Pokemon. And it's going to be spectacular. My theory with why they're not putting things like the sequel to Pokemon Black and White and Nobunaga's Ambition, why they're not worrying about putting it on 3DS, is because it's 3DS compatible. So just because, oh, they cheaped us on the 3DS doesn't mean we can't still play it on our 3DS. It just won't be in 3D, which is kind of a bummer, kind of a buzzkill, because ideally you want to see everything in 3D, even if it's Pokemon sprites. You know, that's something that Nintendo, I'm not sure, is aware of. I would love to see 3D, like a 3D Classics Pokemon game, come to the e-market, the Nintendo eShop. But the reason I think they're staying away from that type of graphics of sprites and all this is because they want to have a significantly 3D first coming out with Pokemon. The first 3DS Pokemon game, alright, they kind of already dropped the ball with it if you think about it, because they released Pokemon Rumble 3DS, and that was not exactly full-fledged 3D characters. It was just the origami kind of plastic toy look, which it's cute in its own respect, but it's not what we saw on the Pokédex application, for example. That was showing off some of the potential of how nice they can get those characters. I think they're going to have something like that big time for E3 this year, and we will have to see. Alright, so we almost befriended a Wooper. Oh, he's getting away from us. No! Wow, Pichu barely hangs on. That Pichu has to evolve. Oh, it doesn't hang on any longer. With friendliness, right? Oh, he's pointing at me. He's not too content. It's really hard to do when you've got an angry Busho warrior. That little Pichu has to love that guy all decked out in armor. He probably just wants his Pichu to supersede up into Raichu, which is actually what we kind of did in the Crystal walkthrough, if you kind of think about that. We had one episode where Pichu was a Pikachu, and then the next, bam, Raichu. That's the beauty of a Thunderstone. But as a Pichu, I could see how it would be intimidated, being thrown out into the Bedaddle. Wow. Anyway, the battle with barely any defense. That's what I was probably mixing. It's no fun. No fun at all for the little Pichu. Just wants to sit in orchards and steal apples all day. So that's what happens when you're successful in befriending a Pokemon. You can tell what your chances are, how easy it will be to befriend that Pokemon, how effective your button pressing will be, by the medal over that Pokemon's head. And that's directly influenced by the power of your Pokemon and your Busho power. So the higher it is, the more likelihood you'll have of befriending random wild Pokemon out in this region. I think that's a great idea that they let you not only collect warriors, but also allow the warriors to collect a subset team of Pokemon. It allows for a lot of specialization and customization, really, to your teams, because if you've got a favorite set of warriors to fight with, but you don't like their Pokemon necessarily, you can have the option to change it, so long as you keep on your toes and keep snagging good regions, or not regions, sorry, nations in the Ronsei region of which to collect Pokemon in. Because you can't go over to an enemy nation and say, hey, I think I could just try out your wild area for a moment, please? I just want to, check for wilds. I'm not coming to conquer your nation yet. No, they don't allow that sort of thing. There's no cross-wild space collaboration with these nations. It's just conquer or be conquered. 1 turn! Well, I guess it's over, folks. Hey, we still get to keep the Whooper. That's what matters. Grass against grass. No good. Alright, well, not too terrible. Gotta take a loss when you take a loss. Oh well. Let's see. What do we got here? I think we've got a battle. If we fast forward, of course. I'm surprised no one has come by to try and take our nations. Huh. Okay, let's train up these peoples. Let's see what the fighting area has. Oh, it's got Beedrill in it. Interesting. We go from a boxing ring to a peaceful park with a bench. Didn't think this would be the area for the fighting zone. It's very small, though. Very small map. I guess it's pretty fitting for fighting. The red bench is just a line in the sand, if you will, for which your Pokemon to brawl with. So speaking of brawl, the next Smash Brothers on 3DS, thinking about the future of things, which Pokemon would you like to see most appear in the fighting game, in the 3D version? Because this time it will be on 3DS, and I think compatible somehow. Cross-compatible with Wii U. Not sure how that's all going to work out, but we'll see. I can't even think of which 5th gen Pokemon I'd like to see in the next Smash. I mean, Conkeldurr would be pretty cool, but it doesn't really have anything to do with, oh wow, that's useless. Abra really just teleports. That's absolutely useless. Oh well. I guess if it sticks around with us long enough, it'll eventually be useful and evolve into a Kudabura. I'm not making the mistake Kenshin did, though, in bringing him into a Busho conquering takeover. That's just going a little too far. Clearly this Abra is useless. But let's see, what other Pokemon would be good in 5th gen for Smash? Huh. Not really sure. It's so hard. It's so hard to choose because there's so many. And really, a lot of them would be pretty good. Bisharp would be cool. It's just like, once you start thinking of some that would be cool, you start wishing all of them would be in there. And then you wish that Rumble Blast was not a lie, and it was much better. But those are just my musings. I thought Rumble Blast, or, well, I can't say for Rumble Blast, but the original Pokemon... Excuse me. I haven't had water in this whole episode, and I should probably change that. Bring a water bottle to my side or something if I'm going to do a long episode. Let's see if we can get my headband dude some more Pokemon. No! I lost my train of thought. Ah, yeah, Pokemon Rumble. The original on WiiWare, what I had a problem with was, it was a lot of gaming content, but it was a lot of spamming gaming content. So it was almost just like a chore to go through. I mean, it was amusing for like maybe 5 seconds, I guess, because it was like, oh, look at the Pokemon, they're running around, kind of cute, kind of not, because it's just one button I keep pressing over and over again. I guess you could make the argument for this game, all you have to do is press A and use the D-pad, and that's pretty much all you really needed in Rumble. But still, this actually uses strategy and uses thought. You have to plan ahead and think about how your moves are going to interact with your scenery, or your background, and all the elemental hazards you have to deal with. I should really stop coughing at the mic. But in Rumble, nothing changed. Every environment you went to was bland. As you went up in rank, the worlds didn't really change at all. Aha! Success! That's good. Anchorman, he needs him a chop. He punches his fist like he wants a fighting type. Now he's got one. So that was my big issue with Rumble. Is Rumble Blast the same? I think so. I've read the reviews. I've seen the game. It is the same franchise. They really didn't do too much. Ooh, sweet, we got a Beedrill guy. An old man with a Beedrill. What a long white beard I have. And really great twin needles underneath. Ha ha ha. Don't mess with me, I'm the old man with the Beedrill. Boy, if there were old men near you with Beedrill, you'd stay off their grass.